I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration.
I'll beat you.
When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Are you ready?
That goes in the files.
Are you ready? Let's get it all!
Yo, welcome back to the 5th round. It's always your boy, Stephen Moustaris. And guys, let's just get right into it. UFC 286 this weekend. I mean, not only do we got the return of Muhammad Mokaev, if you guys haven't watched him yet, 22-year-old, just absolutely killer, 9-0 in MMA. Dude's an absolute dog. If you guys haven't watched him, please do. Please go look. He's coming off an injury, and he's one of them guys that's just been so good. And I mean, clearly he's got the last name, the Mokaev. You know, he's got that Dagestani Russian like sound. So clearly people are already ducking him. So it's cool that he even got a fight. Casey O'Neal's on the card. If you guys haven't seen her, the girl's an absolute killer as well. Well, Joanne Calderwood, I think, is on there. Joanne Wood, sorry. I know she got remarried and has almost the same last name, which is weird. But, I mean, I don't even want to get in. Clearly, Justin Gaethje, Rafael Fiziev, which I'll talk about later. Gunnar Nelson and Brian Barberena, I think, are fighting. Brian Barberena is my man, but Gunnar Nelson is a killer. So, you know, we have some killers on there. Marvin Vettori's fighting Roman Dolidze. So, I mean, we have some really great cards out here. And that's the one thing as MMA fans right now, as UFC fans, like, dude, we are spoiled currently. Just a week and a half ago, I'm watching my boy, you know, not only am I watching Jon Jones, my favorite fighter of all time, completely just dominate Cyril Gane in 2 minutes when nobody saw that coming. And did I win a shit ton of money off my girl Alexa Grasso? Yeah, I did. I picked submission, and I won a shit ton of money. I won my boys' money. So, you know, crazy UFC 285 card, all around phenomenal. Jeff Neal and Shavkat Rakhmonov, one of the craziest fight cards you'll ever watch. Honestly, phenomenal all around. And then last week, you know, we're spoiled too with Merab versus Porteron. I know a lot of people don't like the Merab like style, which I'm going to get into with Kamaru. But man, that fight was phenomenal. And for somebody to dominate Porteron like that, I mean, I'm telling you guys, that shit takes skill. So I don't care if he took 100 takedowns, 300 takedowns. I don't care how many he attempted. You know, the fact that he even kept him off him for 25 minutes, fucking phenomenal. So shouts out to Merab. And I kind of hope we can see the drama with him and Sterling, even though I like their dynamic, but it still would be kind of cool. But still, we're spoiled as fuck out here. And here we are left with fucking Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. Like, come on, people. I'm excited for this fight. Not only am I excited just because of the rematch. I know it's a trilogy technically, but you can count the 2015 fight. But like both of these guys have said, and they've proven, these guys are two different fighters. Absolutely two different fighters. It's been 8 years since their first meeting. 7 years since they're between the two fights. So absolutely phenomenal. But I'm torn, man. I'm really torn. They're in O2 Arena in London. Leon's finally got his home return. I think I remember him talking on Ariel Helwani's thing that I think he said, unless he said it was like his first couple of fights in his professional career, I think he might have said it was like his first fight or two in the UFC. He got to fight in London. It's been his first fight since, and this man's had such a long career. Like, he deserves this. So, you know, some people love being a hometown hero. Like, you know, you see it all the time. Certain people, man, and once they get into that, Paddy the Baddy almost just turns into another person. Conor McGregor, when he was in Ireland, turns into another person. You know, you see all these guys in Brazil, like Anderson Silva does his thing. You see certain people in their hometown where they absolutely just turn it on. But then you also see it like Derek Lewis style in Houston. They did him dirty, like 2 straight cards in fucking Texas in his hometown. And he goes out and gets finished badly, and worst performances of his career. And it's like, so that part can maybe get to Leon, but I just don't think it'll play that much of a factor. If anything, I think it's going to help him to ride off the fans. So, but the tough thing, man, is if you count both fights, they've had like 7.8 rounds together. If you count that last finish in the 5th round, and Kamaru's won six of them. 6 of those rounds dominantly. 6.5 of those rounds dominantly. So, you know, this is the tough part. You want to sit here and you want to pick Leon, because I'm a big Leon guy, and I know exactly like I was talking about Merab. People hate Merab and like that boring style, which I don't think is boring, because I think it takes fucking talent to not only control a guy for 15 minutes, but 25 minutes to control a dude. That takes more talent to me, and more struggle and more everything, more guts, more glory, all that shit than it would be to get a lucky knockout, you know, a quick knockout, or, you know, slipping in a transition. Oh, you got somebody's back, he got his neck, and it, you know, sunk in the, you know, the rear naked choke. Like, that part, yeah, that takes talent and everything to do. But I also think it's just as hard, if not harder, to do to control somebody that long, especially a pro athlete. So that's why you kind of have to respect Usman. He's done it so many times. He's proven it ins and outs. Not only is he such a great grappler as well, but he's also been falling in love with the striking. He's been doing a lot of work with Trevor Whitman and everybody. So, it's a toss-up right now. I'm still sitting here kind of figuring it out myself this week. I might even do another video because I always wake up like Thursday or Friday feeling, or even Saturday feeling a different way about the fight than I do, say Tuesday today. And, guys, I'm just sitting here. I'm all in on Edwards. Leon's my guy. I'm all Team Rocky right now. I love the underdog. I love everything. His knockout that he did against Kamaru was the first time. It was one of the greatest knockouts, one of the most shocking moments in UFC history, MMA history, combat sports history, and sports history to me. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. And just the video out there of his corner hyping him up and everything. So, clearly my heart's with Leon, but if I had to base it off the 15, 16 years of MMA experience that I've watched and, trained, all these things that I've done, and, I have to sit here and I have to say, I think Kamaru Usman, likely, if my life's on the line, I'm going Kamaru Usman unanimous decision, but that's the thing is with this fight, which makes it so intriguing. This fight is not going to be a barn burner. I don't think this is going to be a classic fight. I just don't think Kamaru Usman has it in him unless it's a guy like Colby Covington who can match the grappling and keep it wild. Like, no offense to Leon, he's got great takedown defense, but he also just doesn't have the grappling to scare Kamaru away either, where Kamaru's worried about a takedown as well. So, this is the thing where it's tough. I just don't think it's going to be a close fight. But I think it's either going to be absolutely dominant by Kamaru, or we're going to see Leon Edwards shock the world yet again. And I know that's not the greatest or hardest prediction of all time, but it's just the plain facts. It's a lot like the Piotr Jan Merab fight. Like, I know it's not as high level and shit. I mean, could be, honestly, but just name value, I guess it's not. It's not for the championship. So the thing, all right. So if we're sitting here, if we're fans of Kamaru Usman, clearly, you've seen him dominate Leon. He could do it. He's got it in him. He's already done it. You've seen him dominate everybody. He's got it in him. But the one thing that I think really gets me excited, not the grappling advantage, not the coaching advantage maybe, because him in rematches are wild, but, maybe just not the technical factor. It's honestly the most slept on factor, I think, for me, and the one I'm really excited about with Kamaru currently is the fact that he's just not even – usually you got the guys like Luke Rockhold's like the first example that pops in my head. Conor McGregor, one of these. Like, when these guys lose to somebody, like when Conor lost to Dustin or even Nate Diaz, and then you got Luke Rockhold losing to Bisping, like, too bad they never fought again to make it better. But, you get these guys that false bravado, that false confidence in them. They're like, oh, that guy got lucky, this guy beat me, whatever, got lucky, can't beat me, got lucky, off night, all these things. You got the excuses build up, you hear it going. But Usman, outside of the first 2 weeks there, where he was like just instant, like he was almost like oddly like in media a little too much, like giving too many interviews talking about the exact moment, which was raw of him. It was cool of him. It was, I don't know, I thought it was really like passionate of him to show like, hey, yeah, like just because you lose, it's a sport, man. Like we're showing off our art skill, and this is what I love. Like they're showing off their art, and that's why I love this sport so much. So respectful. Like when Dominic Cruz got absolutely like outclassed by Cody Garbrandt, stood up there. It's like, hey man, you know how many times I've done this to other people? So that's the point where you gotta love it. But the fact that Kamaru hasn't been in the media at all since, and hasn't been talking like, oh, he got lucky, this, that, this. He's been training his dick off, and that's what I'm excited for. He's dilated in it. He wants it. He's all in. He's like, hey man, like I take this serious. So that part you gotta love if you're Kamaru. But the part that I'm really leaning with Leon, which we have never really, I mean, we saw Kamaru do it against Tyron Woodley, but he didn't really have that bad of blood with Tyron Woodley, and he didn't get finished by Tyron Woodley before we went into this. So he had a free conscience when it came into like just going in there and just fighting freely and knowing to be smart. And an absolute dominant performance for 5 rounds. But he could have probably finished it there if he wanted to, but luckily he had his head on straight, let his emotions just go. He was just doing his thing. This is where it's okay. You just got finished for the first time since your second pro fight. You were on top of the world. You're talking about going to 205. You're talking about doing all these things, going into movies, doing all these things that he was talking about. And Leon finishes you with 59 seconds left in the fight, 58 seconds left in the fight. And, that's the one thing. Now it's like, what Usman are we going to see? Are we going to see a Usman that's a little too emotional? And it's like, okay, I'm going to shoot myself. And if you're out there too emotional and really going for a finish against Leon Edwards, you're setting yourself up for failure, my boy. Because Leon's striking, oh my, counter striking. Oh, not only is he one of the greatest strikers that we have in MMA, but his counter striking, oh my God, that's literally Leon Edwards' game. If you guys have watched Leon Edwards at all, that's why when he was picking apart Bilal Muhammad, I know that whole eye poke thing fucking pissed me off, but he was destroying Belal Muhammad. You see it. You literally see it against everybody. Everybody he's ever fought. This man's takedowns ridiculously undervalued or slept on. His dude's striking defense is literally top tier. I don't know if there's a better defensive striker in the UFC currently. Like, this man's that fucking good. And if you're out here just leaving yourself open like that, whoo, good night, Irene, baby boy. Like, I think Leon puts him to sleep early. So, just thinking about it right now would get me so hyped. Could you guys imagine Leon Edwards sleeping Kamaru Usman in London again? And like, even if, and honestly, and this is the other thing with Leon that he can go with at the end of the day. Even if Kamaru embarrasses him in London, even if he does all that, even if he beats his ass, guess what? Yeah, you're going to have to swallow the pill a little bit about getting beat in your hometown like that bad. But still, nobody could ever take away what you did to him in your guys' last fight. And even if Usman goes out and beats Edwards in a 5-round decision, like, at the end of the day, we're always going to have that visual of Kamaru Usman laying there knocked out cold and the whole pound-for-pound headshot that we're going to have that just drained and just drilled into our brains for the rest of our life. So Usman's going to have to come out here. And I'm telling you guys, I think Usman's going to come out and leave himself a little too open. And that's why, man, if he doesn't fight smart and he just fights off emotion, Edwards might make this done within 3. So I'm fucking excited. I'm just talking it through. Tell me what you guys got. Tell me what you guys are thinking. I'm excited for this fight. Let's go. You guys in the UK, I'm fucking jealous. Lucky you. And I'm happy you guys don't have a card with Patty the Batty or Molly Meatball on there now. So let's go, baby. 5th round. Let's get it.